Yo, welcome back to the show. It's your boy Mo. Baton Rouge's biggest crash, dummy.
Me and DDawg in middle school planning on stepping on
Me and DDawg in middle school planning on stepping on
DDawg bust his head, see his brain cells.
DDawg bust his head, see his brain cells.
So it seemed like we got NBA YoungBoy's goon. Oh, I can't wait for this story.
Once again, the system has failed. A man convicted in a murder from 2012 picked up on attempted murder charges out on bond Monday when he led police on a chase that left a passenger in his car dead.
The subject of today's video is a man that's too wild for his own good. He's so wild that it appears that he's incapable of functioning in a regular society. Some people are just meant for prison, and the subject of today's video is no different. On the streets, he has the reputation of a deadly killer, and he's known to have a couple screws loose in his head. The subject of today's video is none other than NBA DDawg, and today we're going to be telling his story.
I really like YoungBoy's music. I've been wondering who DDawg is.
NBA DDawg, whose real name is Darian Bailey, originally grew up and lived in New Orleans, Louisiana until 2005. As most of you probably know, in August of 2005, a deadly tropical hurricane by the name of Hurricane Katrina struck the southeastern United States and caused endless amounts of damage. The hurricane and its aftermath claimed more than 1,800 lives, and it ranked as the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history. The city that was most negatively affected by Hurricane Katrina was New Orleans. As a result, a majority of its residents evacuated, and one of those residents was DDawg. DDawg moved to the north side of Baton Rouge and would eventually get tied into the streets as he grew up. He became a member of NBA/4KT, made famous by the rapper NBA YoungBoy. DDawg is one of NBA YoungBoy's closest friends, and YoungBoy constantly shouts him out in his music. In fact, one of YoungBoy's most popular songs is called Free DDawg. Whenever YoungBoy had a problem, he would send DDawg to go handle it.
No!
Oh yeah, y'all done fucked up, cuz.
NBA and 4KT primarily.
I was like, what is this nigga about to do right now, bro? Nigga went and put hands on him.
NBA and 4KT primarily beef with another Baton Rouge crew by the name of TBG, made famous by the rappers Fredo Bang and Lit Yoshi. DDawg became a pure savage at a young age. In fact, he allegedly committed his first murder at just 14 years old. On the evening of November 6, 2012, Derek Marino, his wife Demetria, and their teenage daughter were at home on Wayandante Street in Baton Rouge. Around 6:30 p.m., there was a loud gunshot outside, then the front door flew open. Derek was sitting at the table. Demetria saw two people standing in the doorway with ski masks on. Demetria heard gunshots, grabbed her daughter, and they ran out of the back of the home. 3 gunmen fired through the open door at Derek. Derek was struck several times. He was brought to Earl K. Long Hospital, where he tragically passed away. The 3 perpetrators were later identified as DDawg's cousin Juan Herbert, DDawg's older brother Benjamin Bailey, who was 20 at the time, and DDawg, who was just 14 years old at the time. Juan was charged with second-degree murder. He entered into a plea agreement with the state, whereby in exchange for his truthful testimony at trial, he would be allowed to plead guilty to manslaughter. Juan testified that on the day of the shootings, he, Benjamin, and DDawg went to Juan's apartment on Pampas Street. They were driven there by Benjamin's girlfriend, Tamika Hawkins. Juan testified that at his apartment, they retrieved an AK-47 rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun. Later that day, the 3 walked to Derek's house and knocked on the door. Juan had the AK-47, Benjamin had the shotgun, and DDawg had the handgun. Juan heard someone in the house say that he was coming. Juan then kicked the door in and shot Derek. Juan was not sure how many times he fired. The crazy thing about this is that while Juan was committing the murder, DDawg accidentally shot Juan 4 times in his back and side. Juan was driven to the hospital and survived the injuries DDawg gave him. The Baton Rouge Police Department testified that when they arrived at the scene of the shootings, it appeared there were 3 different shooters since there were 3 different types of shell casings at the house. Detectives noted that there were 22 caliber casings in the front yard and front porch area and 1 in the living room. There were 2 7.62 caliber casings in the living room. There was also shotgun wadding under an end table in the living room. Eventually, the police found a blue jacket, a pink ski mask, and a black baseball cap by the dumpster of a liquor store near the scene of the crime. The DNA of Benjamin, Juan, and DDawg were found on those items. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there was something off about DDawg mentally, and this would be fully revealed during his murder trial. His mother told law enforcement that DDawg began having behavioral problems after he was hit by a car while riding his bicycle at a young age. At the time of his murder trial, DDawg was still underage. Prosecutors wanted him to be tried as an adult, but after a mental evaluation, a juvenile court judge ruled that he would stand trial as a juvenile. After 2 days of testimony, Judge Pamela Taylor Johnson found DDawg had borderline intelligence and the mind of a 10-year-old, even though he was a teenager. Additionally, a user on Reddit that claims to have been locked up with DDawg back in the day allegedly witnessed his mental instability firsthand. According to the user, when DDawg was locked up as a teenager, he would allegedly go on
Used to fight the guards while he was butt naked and all. They pepper sprayed him and he kept fighting.
pages and fight the guards, even while he was butt naked. The guards would allegedly be pepper spraying him and everything, but he would keep on fighting. Ultimately, DDawg pled guilty in 2019 to a manslaughter charge. He was given 10 years in prison, but only served 8 before he was released. DDawg's wild behavior in prison would lead to more charges, as he was charged with 2 counts of battery on a police officer and multiple counts of resisting a police officer with force or violence.
Final crap. This nigga looks crazy.
On September 6, 2022, DDawg was arrested and charged with an attempted murder that took place on July 31, 2018. He was given a $300,000 bond for the crime, and he was able to bond out. Just days after bonding out, DDawg would do something crazy and crash out for seemingly the last time. On September 21st, 2022, shortly after being released from prison, DDawg would get into a high-speed chase after coming into contact with law enforcement officers. While driving at super high speeds, DDawg would get into a crash, and tragically, the passenger that was in the car with him passed away. Law enforcement proceeded to search his car and found a ski mask and weapons inside. People believe that DDawg was planning on getting back to drilling and carrying out hits. DDawg was taken to the hospital to tend to his injuries. DDawg was officially charged with first-degree vehicular manslaughter, negligent injuring, resisting an officer, possession of a firearm, and manslaughter. He is currently back in jail, being held on a staggering $19.7 million bond. It's crazy to see someone being given a second opportunity at life, though.
Hey, young boy. 20 million bond, bro. If I was young boy, I wouldn't bond you out either. You're gonna go right back to jail anyway, buddy. Jail is best for you. Stay in there forever.
His friend has become one of the richest rappers in the world, and rather than take advantage of it, he threw it all away. This story goes to show you the importance of mental health. The justice system knew that DDawg had mental health issues, and rather than get him rehabilitated, they just threw him back onto the streets to wreak havoc on people's lives.
Shoot the like button.